Let's do two.
All right. Sending the feed your way. Have a great show.
Thank you very much. All right.
Welcome to the Forbes Factor, featuring celebrity TV host, million-dollar entrepreneur, and renowned health and fitness superstar, Forbes Riley. A familiar face from TV, as well as one of today's most sought-after female motivational speakers today. You'll connect with some of the top experts in health and fitness, business and personal development, as well as some surprise celebrities, all sharing their insight, tips, and tricks to finding true happiness.
Entrepreneur and
Now, here's your
renowned
host,
health and fitness
Forbes
superstar, Forbes Riley. A familiar
Hey,
face from
everybody.
TV,
Welcome,
as well
welcome,
as one of
welcome.
today's
Wait, you're
most
hearing a little
sought-after
feedback from my
female
recording.
motivational
Don't go
speakers
away.
today. You'll
One
connect
of those days. Well, everybody, welcome to the Forbes Factor. If you are watching this on YouTube or one of my other visuals, you notice that I'm in a little apartment here in Los Angeles. Going to bring you up to speed. For those of you listening live, this isn't a crazy, literally perfect storm day, okay? So let's start with the fact that the date is October 9th, 2024. I know everybody watches this recorded. It's going to be a very memorable episode. On this date, I am scheduled to have my Forbes Factor. You guys know I do a live in-person event. I'm doing it just once a year. People flying in from all over the world. And on last Saturday, it became very apparent that there was this giant hurricane off the coast of Florida that usually misses us. I've been there for 18 years, so we didn't take it all that seriously. I'm doing my event. Everyone's flying in. By Sunday morning, it became kind of that countdown movie-ish energy going, they're going to close the airports. I'm like, they're going to close airports? Like, what's the big deal? Well, it's a category 5. So I very reluctantly got everyone on the phone on a Zoom call and said, hey guys, for the first time ever since I've been doing this event, which is insane, we have to postpone, we have to cancel because you guys can't fly in Tuesday or Wednesday. Wow, that was very traumatic and emotional. We'd found a date to reschedule, so I'm excited to say if you are within earshot and ever want to come to a Forbes Factor Live, it's an amazing event. But at that same moment, and this is the funny thing about manifestation in life, my movie, last year I shot a raging, amazing, action-packed Western feature film. One of the highlights of my life was getting to do this. Many of you know that 30 years ago I was mugged in Los Angeles and found a lot of solace in a dojo, in a martial arts studio. Spent 4 years doing Taekwondo, then moved on to Aikido and Wing Chun, and then my own fitness product I use for black belts, and I've been training for many years now. Well, somehow I got inducted into a beautiful legion of martial artists, and I met superstars like Cynthia Rothrock and Don the Dragon Wilson. Well, Cynthia is the leading female martial art movie hero. She's just it. There's nobody else even in her category, and odds are you don't know her name, which is really annoying. But women martial artists are not a popular genre. And Don the Dragon, who I've known for a couple of decades, he's an 11-time world champion kickboxer, also turned actor. You've seen him in some of the big movies. And then he started doing a lot of independent films. All right, so we've all become friends over the years. Nice for us, right? Well, last year, Cynthia decided she was going to take matters into her own hands, write her own action feature, and star in it. You know, that's a bit of a pipe dream for every actor, that you're going to write a movie for you, get to star in it, and have it made and distributed. I think every actor dreams of that, and 6 have done it. And I know some of those, which is even funnier. You guys, you ever see A Bronx Tale with Robert De Niro? Well, that stars Chaz Palminteri. And I've tracked these beautiful actors who have made this leap into success because, you know, as a major manifester myself and teaching all of you guys how to do that, this is part of the dream, right? So Chaz and I, and you should look up Chaz Palminteri, you'll laugh. He's the tough guy in all the Italian movies. He and I auditioned for a play, a tiny little off-Broadway play 4 decades ago. He then, again, does this thing, writes a one-man show. And a couple of the other people who have done that too include My Big Fat Greek Wedding. When she wrote that, I saw her play here in LA, just as a play, because you have this burning desire, this story you want to tell, right? So Chaz does this. It's on the Upper East Side. I go to see it. Oh my God, it's brilliant. He was spectacular in this. Well, Robert De Niro came and sat in the audience and decided to produce his movie. Let me tell you, it's like cha-ching, jackpot, actor lottery. And then Chaz's career has been amazing. Well, the funny side note of that is Chaz and I just reconnected on Instagram. He's doing a podcast, and I'm going to go up to New York to be a guest on that. 40 years after I auditioned for a play. I love the full circle of this. So I hear that Cynthia is doing her own movie and she's looking for investors. Now, here's another thing I want all of you to listen to, because everyone always says, oh, you have it easy, or you're a celebrity, or we all make excuses. No one has it easy, okay? Nobody. I don't care who you are. You have your own set of hurdles to overcome. And I believe that you should never wish to be somebody else, because you have no idea all the things that go on behind the scenes. So when Cynthia was doing this, she did the fundraising on Kickstarter. And I have to seriously applaud the energy, the time, the commitment to not only write a feature film, but to do a Kickstarter campaign that is successful. She raises almost $1 million, one of the highest grossing Kickstarter film projects so far. And I said, I should invest in her. You invest in friends, you support people, you believe in abundance. So I did that. And literally, now y'all know that I've been an actress most of my life. I stopped for about 21 years to raise children because I love stage acting. Lily Tomlin let me star in her one-woman show, which I saw when I was in my teens, and she won a Tony for it. I got to do that. But if you're an actor on stage, you don't go to work until 5:30 at night, and you don't come home until 11:30. And I made a very conscious decision and a little agreement with the universe that I wanted to see my babies grow up. I wanted to tuck them into bed at night. I wanted to be there when they woke up in the morning. And I've balanced that a lot, and so I gave up my acting. And I went out to make a lot of money because I thought that's what you should do for kids. You should be able to afford birthday presents and Christmas presents and vacations. And I very consciously made that happen for them. Very proud of myself to do that, but every once in a while I would do a little movie here and there. And so Cynthia, get this. This is the crazy thing about investing, about putting your credit card where your mouth is, going and taking trainings, getting mentors, and I'm sure my guests who are going to come up in a few minutes will agree with that you're not spending it, you're literally investing in yourself. And to be an entrepreneur takes a lot of investment in a lot of things, in technologies and how to run a business and how to be personally grown. And so Cynthia reaches out to me and she says, hey, Forbes, are you still acting? And I thought, oh, that's so sad. If you go to my IMDb, you'll see all these credits. I'm like, yeah, I am. Why do you ask? She said, well, we were looking at a couple of celebrities to play the bad girl in the film I'm doing. We're looking at Catherine Bach, who I used to love on her TV show, and a couple of others. But I was wondering, would you be interested in playing the bad girl? Yeah, there was a long silence on my part. Interested? I'd walk over hot coals barefoot. Yes, I said very nicely. She said, great, it's yours. Then I read this, and I read the script. The script is wonderful. And the next thing you know, we're in Tucson, Arizona, a year ago, filming a Western on the set of the Mezcal Ranch, okay? When you drive out of Tucson, 35 minutes south, it's deserted, it's a desert. And then you see this old Western town like it came out of a movie, but get this, it's the backdrop for Quick and the Dead with Sharon Stone and Leonardo DiCaprio. It is the set for Tombstone with Kurt Russell. It's Clint Eastwood shot there, Steve McQueen shot there, and it's a real three-dimensional town. Not like the fake towns you go to when you're a kid and you go to like a little Western town, it's just the face and there's nothing back there. No, you open the saloon doors and there's an amazing saloon, like 2 stories high. And the general store has all the props in it. And I walked on there and had this most memorable moment. I filmed it all. I have all the backstage. Have not been able to release any of it in a year, but walked on the set and thought, this was my dream. Like to be, and I don't know how old some of you are, but there was a TV series many years ago called Here Comes the Brides. And I just loved it. And the idea that you get to wear those clothes and have all that hair and horses and guns and oh my gosh. Well, we filmed it. Now, by the way, careful what you wish for. October in Tucson or outside of Tucson is beautiful during the day, drops down to freezing at night. Well, get this, our call doesn't start till 3:30 in the afternoon, and we're gonna film all the way till 6:30 in the morning. Number one, I'm not that good in the middle of the night. I don't know that anybody is. And we're literally freezing. And because it's a real Western town, but not functional, we have to bring in our own generators. It's all very sparse about how warm we can be. So there was good and bad and craziness and a lot of fun celebrities. And the part that I loved most is the reason I'm in martial arts is that I got mugged in Los Angeles. I was doing a play. I walked out of the theater at 11:30 at night, said bye to the cast, bye to the director, turned the corner to go to my car, keys in my hand. All my money, my jewelry was in my little teeny purse because I'd taken it off for rehearsal. And these 5 teenagers came barreling down the street, pop open the door, grab my purse from behind me. I turn around. All of a sudden, I'm in a situation I've never been prepared for. And all I hear is a little voice is, kick him in the groin, kick him in the, I'm like, when I went to do that, he punched me. And oh my God, I fell apart. I peed all over myself. I got terrified. I screamed, take my purse. And I'm glad I did because they could have taken me. I've heard horror stories since that incident happened. And the next day I ended up in a karate studio, and I stayed in this one studio for 4 consecutive years to just get over the trauma of what had happened. Who knew that 30 years later I would be in a martial arts feature film because of the journey and craziness that I took? So I say this for all of you who are suffering at the moment, that I firmly believe, and I practice this, that life happens for you, not to you. Okay, so we shoot the film. It's been edited. I actually was in LA a couple of months ago and I saw a version of it. I could not make the screening because my big class was happening. Well, talk about one door closing. So Sunday night, I'm on a Zoom call, canceling my big event. And at midnight, my daughter turns to me and she said, you know, Mom, and we live in Florida, across the entire country. You could have gone to the screening. And I said, not could have. And I checked the airlines. Now, because that hurricane, just so you know, is headed right now, today, it's 11:16 my time here in Florida, in California, it's headed right towards my house. We've already been through a massive hurricane where I lost my rental property, which is right on the beach, afforded this beautiful place. When the water came over, destroyed everything. All my neighbors destroyed everything. Everybody put all their stuff out in the front. So out in the front, all over St. Pete, in case you're not watching the news, is garbage piled literally, I don't know, I'm 5'6", about 6 foot tall, everywhere, all over the coast, because no one expected that there was going to be another hurricane coming, okay? So my daughter says, you could make it. Midnight, I'm working on getting an airline. Every time we booked a ticket, in a minute, the ticket was gone. People were literally freaking out trying to get out of Tampa. I got a ticket at like 12:01 that left in 5 hours. I packed my bags. My McKenna said, look, my daughter said, look, Mom, I can't get ready that fast. I'll see you the next day. She was going to fly out. The next day, they canceled all the airlines on Tuesday and Wednesday. So she and her dad are there. My husband, Joshua, and his daughter are there in the eye of a hurricane. And I'm here getting ready for a amazing premiere. Talk about conflicted, confused, excited, and sad, all in the same breath. I want to say there's hundreds of people, if you're listening live, thank you, who have reached out on Facebook to ask how we're doing. I just read somebody said, don't ask me how I'm doing right now. Right now I'm fine. Ask me how we're going to do after the destruction is over. Because what they're predicting is not only the rain, storm surge, flooding, but winds that we've never seen and garbage. There's couches and desks and tables and dressers all sitting outside all over this community. So it's going to be an interesting 24 hours. Yeah. Wow. I'm not quite sure how I feel about all this. I do have a couple of guests right now. I would love to introduce you to a wonderful businesswoman to have her say hi. She has no idea that I just spewed all of this stuff because it's been, like I said, we're live today. So Olivia Atkin, why don't you come down here and say hello to everybody?
Hello. And let me say, as you just said, I had no idea you were about to go into that, but my boyfriend's family is all in Florida right now. So that is something we are also going through right now. As I am in Alaska, I am dealing with trying to make sure family members are okay, making sure they can be evacuated while he's out protecting our country. So the emotions and just trying to stay focused on what you have going on while also making sure your loved ones are okay is really real. So totally understand that.
Yeah, I've never experienced anything quite like what I'm feeling. I was in the gym and I just completely broke down. And then there's nothing to be sad about right now. It's just you just want everyone to be safe and you want to do what you can. Where in Alaska are you?
Juneau. So my boyfriend is a chief in the U.S. Coast Guard. So we actually recently moved out to Juneau, Alaska for the next 2 years.
Oh, wow. Where's home?
So my home is in New Jersey. So right now, like I just flew back on Monday actually from New Jersey, South Jersey, so Philadelphia area, and it was a 15-hour flight day. So first time I've been through that, and it's been crazy. But one of the things that I'm so grateful for is with my business, I get to talk to individuals all over the world, and location really doesn't matter. So for me, I really have enjoyed hearing stories like yours and being able, as you were even speaking about your mugging and your journey, being able to resonate with me and give me ideas of things we talk about today.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to take our first little break. Guys, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to delve into Olivia's business and what achieving success really means on every level. And we're going to go to a quick commercial break. You guys are listening to the Forbes Factor. We focus on health, wealth, and happiness. And today I got a good dose of all of them. Don't go away.
All clear. Back into.
Miss Dina LaRosa is also joining us, also in Florida. Olivia, yeah, it's taken a little bit of a different turn today because I'm having a very hard time like staying focused. And so tell me about, now we're still live on YouTube, just so you know, and we're still recording.
Okay.
Dina, I'm going to invite you up to a panelist. I've been through Alaska. It's a very interesting state. As long
I
as
will
you
say,
don't see-
going from like Jersey, Florida, because I lived in Florida right before coming here, because ironically, that's where my boyfriend was stationed last, to Juneau, very much different cultures, very much different societal norms.
Well, say hi to one of my dear friends, Dina, who's down in Florida at the moment, also from the Upper East Coast.
Yes. Hello.
You got a lot of
Hello.
accents going on over here. Miss Dina LaRosa, look at you up there, your NASDAQ numbers. You're so funny. I love that. You are out.
Yeah, my back.
We're not live at the moment. We are live on YouTube and everybody's watching. So say hello. We're going to come back and talk a little bit about Olivia's business. We're going to talk about Dina's business. She is massive when it comes to real estate. And of course, just dealing with the update in Florida. Do you think you guys are going to get hit pretty big in celebration?
I think we are right now. I mean, it looks like it's shifting. I count on Joe for all the news related stuff when it comes to the weather. So right now it's looking really bad for like Tampa area and Anna Maria, who got hit pretty bad last time. But we're gonna get high winds and and that storm.
Sorry to
I
interrupt.
don't know
Coming back in
how
15.
bad.
Okay. Dina, I'm going to tuck you into the audience for a second, do a little interview with Olivia.
Sure.
Don't go away, and thank you
You
for
got
joining
it.
the camera on.
You are listening to the Forbes Factor. To question or comment, send an email to Forbes@ForbesRiley.com. Now back to the show. Here's Forbes Riley.
Hey guys, it is Forbes Riley on a very interesting, momentous day, October 9th, where I'm getting ready to do my movie premiere tonight and live the high life of an action-packed Western and seeing a lot of my friends. And I went to a premiere last night of a feature, and a lot of the people who I know are going to be there tomorrow. It's been a little fun. It was like, it's the dream to be the Hollywood actress, and today is the day, while my family is bracing for a hurricane. So Olivia also shared that her family is down in the Florida area. Crazy times, but let's just come back to the point of my show and what I love doing, and that's focusing on entrepreneurs and making dreams come true. So Olivia, share with us how you created your business and inspire other people to do the same.
For me, I created my business over this overarching question and thought that I had seen in, as I joke, the 5 other careers I had before this, because I started working in professional sports with a minor in sports studies and law. So I worked for the New York Giants for 9 years, managed athletes, and then went into the supply chain realm. And also I taught at a university. But in every one of those sectors, the conversation that I thought was missing the most is, after you graduate college and you're in your everyday life, what does that journey really look like? I think in colleges you go, okay, you go to school, you get your degree, you're going to go get that job and you'll be set. And very rarely is that what it looks like. It's just the A to B, B to C moment. There's all those hurdles. People's ideas of what success really looks like shifts, as you mentioned earlier, on when you're in different stages of your life. So I decided, let's pull back the curtain. Let's actually have real conversations about what people's success journey looks like personally and professionally. And that's when I decided to start my podcast, Achieving Success with Olivia Atkin, that brings on celebrities, current or former pro athletes, entrepreneurs, and employees from all walks of life, all over the world, all different industries, to talk about that. And during that process of really delving in and hearing people's stories and talking about what their own potential really can be, I started being asked to consult with podcasters and entrepreneurs who were getting in their own way to take that next step to achieve their goals. So that is where my consulting and speaking has come in now, is I talk to individuals about what does achieving success and what those goals look like, and it's okay to pivot, and what does giving yourself a platform, giving others a platform through podcasting really could look like to meet your long-term goals.
What's one of the overarching themes that you found for people who achieve success?
Is understanding that it is okay to pivot. And I think that's one of the biggest things as entrepreneurs, or really, I think it's also a societal thing, that you get into your niche, you stay in your niche, and you don't go outside of that. And I think there's a tide shifting in that. But when you become an entrepreneur, you wear so many hats, you have so many things to think about. And a lot of times, the words that come out of individuals' mouth is, I don't know it and I don't have the time to learn it, so I'm just not going to do it and change. Or B, of, this is what got me here, so I have to stay with this business model, I have to stay with this offering, and we can't expand it. When in reality, most of the time, the thing you start with is not the thing you end up doing. And so understanding through conversations where that really sits and what that really looks like and how you can really expand.
Now, is your TED Talk about this? Because that's one of our goals this year for me. Is I would like it. I can't believe I haven't. But it's funny because when TED hears me coming, they're like, you can't pitch. I'm like, no, guys, I teach pitch. Okay, I teach pitch. It's not that I'm going to pitch you.
And that's the most, you talk about experiences you've had this past year. It was a little over a year now since I did mine. And I will say, as someone who likes to engage with audiences and really start conversations, prepping for that was one of the biggest struggles, because you really can't engage. You really have to be careful. But my TED Talk was on the topic of defeating your biggest enemy, you, and how we all can get in our own way during moments of opportunity or struggle, and how to push through that. So I give 4 examples of how you can defeat that biggest enemy, you, and really become the victor to your success story, which leads into whether that's podcasting, whether that's, stepping out of your comfort zone and trying something new. You have to do it, because you never know where that moment in time can take you. And the perfect example for you was the martial arts. One for me is, at a very young age, I was diagnosed with epilepsy, and I was given 6 months to have normal brain activity. And I was like, no, now watch me do it my way. And luckily, I had family members and friends who really advocated for my well-being and knew that that wasn't the only answer. And that really shaped my view of like, okay, you're going to give me a challenge and you think I'm not going to do it. Now watch me not only come in and do it, but knock everyone else out of the park. So I think those small moments can really shape all of us.
Yeah, I just have this whole dream about #watch me. Tell me what I can't do.
I say I achieve the greatest when everyone else sits back and tells me I can't do something. And
Yeah.
it's because you know what? I think there's a level of confidence that comes from everyone else self-doubting you, or everyone else trying to put the roadblocks in your own way. And if you sit down and you ignore that outside noise and you say, I'm going to do this, there can be such reward and such power in that as well. One thing I always say is, as long as I could sit back at the end of the day and go, I know I tried it, I did it my best, and whatever the outcome is going to be, it will be. Then, when my time comes, I can live peaceful and happily. And so every different adventure I go on business-wise, I'm in the midst of starting another company because I saw a need in a market to give back to communities. And people told me, why would you do that? You have a successful business now. Why would you take away your time from that? And it's not about taking your time away from any one avenue. It's, how can you do it? How can you make it work? And in that, I'm like, okay, now watch everything go seamlessly.
That's very funny. So I was going to go back to the TED thing real quick. Why do you think they don't want you to interact? Why do you think they want it so stilted? Because I know I just listened to Mel Robbins' story of how her TED talk happened, where she was actually in the audience, and it was before they really knew what they were doing. So she got to the boat very early. What do you think the energy behind that is?
I think it's a few parts because too, they also don't want you to be too niche with your conversation. They try to make it broader. And for me, I am more of a broad person, so it does work with what I do. But I think it comes to the idea of you want people to sit back and be challenged with your thinking and walk away with, oh, could I do that? This is how they said they were implementing it, and really give that idea of sit back, listen, and be able to absorb the information. I think part of it as well is I'm definitely a planner. So I practiced and practiced on my own so much before that TED Talk. But we had an event the night before our TED Talk that TED put on, and I was speaking to some of the speakers, and they were not fully prepped. And I was just sitting back, I'm like, I'm sitting here for weeks practicing every moment I got. And you're sitting here going, okay, should I cut this out? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I think when you engage with an audience, there's a level of having to fly at the seat of your pants that you have to do. And some people are very good at that. And I think others really have the knowledge base and are experts, but they can't do it the same way. And I think that's what they tried to eliminate is that ability to take your 5 minute talk, and because you start engaging with an audience, you might pivot in real time. Your message might not come across as well as that 5 minute talk could come into like a 30-minute discussion, which I'm definitely that person that would do that.
Yeah, no, I am too. What advice do you give to somebody who's stuck in their own career and they're not pivoting?
So one thing I always talk about is really sit back and evaluate what are those things you enjoy doing, right? When I started my business, I was working for Lockheed Martin, and I just started the podcast to make the impact. I didn't think it was going to turn into a full business thing. I just wanted to give back and let other people know they weren't alone. But I remember as soon as I started the podcast and my business, it was this empowerment moment that I was going through where all of a sudden I was feeling so stuck in the job I had. I would wake up in the morning and go, oh, 10 more hours of work, 9 hours and 58 more minutes. Like I can get through the day. And over time, I really sat back and said, what do I enjoy doing in this job? What are the things that make me happy? Those tasks, those moments in the day, the interactions. And then I took it a step farther. What were the things in my roles that I had before this in professional sports and managing different pro athletes that I really enjoyed? And when you look at that, it gives you clarity. It gives you the ability to go, okay, is there a role that really better suits me where I am today and the experiences I hold? Is there something I could raise my hand and go, hey, there's this project going on. I'd really like to get more expertise and lean in this aspect to rejuvenate yourself as well. Sometimes it's just having the voice to say, okay, I did some self-reflection. This is where I am. Is there a way to do that in my role? Or is there a role that suits me better now? And a lot of times when people are feeling stuck, it's that, you know, feeling of drowning, overwhelming, that stops them from taking the next step.
Well, it's funny. I've got somebody we can talk to here. I've got a professional athlete on the line right now who wants to pop up here and say hello. He just stood up. Joshua, I only see your belly now. I don't see your face. There you are. That would be my man. And he is sitting in the middle of St. Pete, getting ready to be hit by a hurricane. Everybody say hi to Joshua Self. Hello, Joshua.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
It's a good excuse to see you. So Olivia is up here in Juneau, Alaska. Her family is in Florida, so she's also watching the storm warnings. And she deals with people achieving success, and she worked for a long time with the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, it's interesting. Joshua's a professional bodybuilder, among other things. Joshua, say hi and tell everybody a little bit about you.
Well, what about me? I've been competing for over a decade now. I won some, lost some, and I love what I do. I keep going, and And that's the thing. If you don't love something you do, then why do it?
By the way,
Other than lifting weights, I'm a videographer and a photographer and a 3D artist by trade. And so I'm very artistic, but yet I'm technical.
and the most amazing man I've ever met on the planet, just to say that. But when he says won some, lost some, Olivia, just so you put this in context, won like first place in the Arnold or the Olympia or Mr. Universe or a lot of different competitions. He does very well. There's something very unique about Joshua on stage. And, it's funny, we talk about, and you don't know the story because we've just become friends, but he and I were both in a van accident in Iceland that was luckily bad, but we all walked away from it ultimately. And I entered my first bodybuilding competition as a result, which happened literally in June, because Joshua said to me, I don't know if you could do that. And it was that hashtag watch me. And I'm like, I don't think I can do this either, but I'm going to go do it. And we had 99 days to get my butt in shape, and we did, and I walked away with a medal. So it's an interesting thing about achieving a level of success. Joshua, is there some area of your life as you're transitioning, because you're about to retire from professional bodybuilding, you probably still dabble in it, but at a certain age, it's a challenge, right?
Well, you work so hard. I mean, like I said, I've been doing it for like over 10 years, and you get to a certain point where you do have to quit, but I worked so hard, I just don't want to give up because of all the effort, and I still know I still look good, and I still like to look good, and I think looking good really separates you from everybody else. That's why people wear suits. Everybody, if a guy has a suit on, you can't tell what his physique is. So everybody's the same if they're wearing a suit. So I like to wear a tight shirt so you can see exactly how hard I work and how I can separate myself from everybody else.
So Olivia, what advice might you give to Joshua as he's looking to transition a little bit? I'm sure you met a lot of athletes who have that moment in their lives.
Oh, for sure. And I always say you have to prep for the unknown because, especially in athletics, whether it's during the peak of your career and deciding to walk away or due to an injury, you never know when that day might come. And I've been through that in sports as well myself. And so with athletes, I always say, look at the things you enjoy. Again, kind of going back to the enjoy doing part, but what are the things that you have your knowledge in and that you're passionate about within your sport that you can take those skills and apply it to other things? And a lot of times within professional sports, there's such a discipline. There's a creative side because you have to know how to move your body. You have to understand different aspects and sometimes be creative with it. But you have to be able to sit there and train. You have to be able to say, when so many other things are going on, I'm still going to hit this gym. I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to do that. So think about the things that set you apart from other individuals, skill set wise, and soft skills. What are the things that you've gone through in that sport that have given you the different experiences and approaching situations differently, and how can you apply that? And sometimes people, like Joshua, you just said you're not ready to leave the sport. Well, it doesn't mean you have to leave the sport. Can you become a coach? Can you become a mentor? Can you talk to individuals and go and speak? There's so many possibilities, especially with the space we're in now with Zoom and YouTube and all these different areas, that just because you have to leave one capacity does not mean you have to leave the whole capacity.
Hey, Olivia, we've got 2 minutes to our next break, and I want to say thank you so very much. How do people find out how to listen to your podcast and reach you?
So my podcast, Achieving Success with Olivia Atkin, is on all platforms, and it's the first 5 pages of Google. So you just type in Achieving Success or Achieving Success with Olivia Atkin, it will populate. And then if anyone would like to contact me, they could email me at olivia.atkin@achieving-success.com, and I answer all my emails personally. So it might take up to 72 hours, but I will respond.
So before you leave us, share your hope for the world. And Josh, I'm going to touch back in the audience for one real quick second while she does this with us.
My hope in the world is for everyone to find their impact and passion and purpose, and know that no matter who you are, you have a voice and you can use your voice.
That is wonderfully powerful. Well, I wish you and your family a lot of good fortune as we're going through this. We'll check in with you on the other side. And I just love the whole name about achieving success because it is what we do. Olivia Atkin, thank you so very much for joining us today. Guys, when we come back, we're going to bring Joshua back up stage, and one of my other girlfriends, who's a wildly successful business real estate guru, is going to join us. She's also down in Florida, so we're going to be sending lots of love and hugs, and we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors. Please don't go away. Bye, everybody.